The ancient obelisk had been silent for 1,000 years, dormant in the heart of the crystalline cavern. When Dr. Eleanor Hayes finally activated it, its voice echoed through the chamber like thunder, cold, absolute, and utterly without mercy. Colony extinction imminent. Temporal anomaly detected. Dimensional collapse begins in 47 hours. Survival probability, 0.000%. The holographic display materialized before her, a cascade of data streams and calculations spanning dimensions her human mind could barely comprehend. The obelisk had processed every variable. There was no escape route. No technological countermeasure. No miracle hidden in quantum mechanics. The dimensional fabric was tearing, and with it, everything in this sector of space would be erased from existence. Eleanor stood alone in the cavern, the weight of 50,000 colonists resting on her shoulders. She was the expedition's chief scientist, and the only one who understood the ancient technology well enough to consult with the obelisk. "Run it again," she said quietly. Analysis repeated 2,847 times. Result, 0.000% survival probability. All scenarios conclude in total extinction. "You're certain?" "I have processed every possible variable in quantum spacetime," the obelisk replied. "I have consulted with the consciousness matrices of 7 extinct civilizations archived within my core. They all agree. Your species cannot survive this event." Eleanor laughed, a sound that startled even herself. "You know what's funny? Those 7 extinct civilizations probably all consulted you before they died. And you told them 0.000% odds too. So here's what I think, your track record is terrible. I do not understand human humor. I state facts. Probability calculates certainty." "No," Eleanor said, walking closer to the obelisk. "Probability calculates what happens when you follow the rules. But humans? We're really good at breaking rules. Rule breaking does not alter physics." "Maybe not," Eleanor conceded. "But it alters perspective. Tell me, when you calculated that 0.000%, did you account for human irrationality? For the fact that we do impossible things not because they're logical, but because they're necessary?" The obelisk hummed. "I do not factor in variables that contradict mathematical certainty." Eleanor smiled. "That's your problem right there. You think we're logical creatures. We're not. We're desperate creatures. We're the species that built airplanes even though heavier-than-air flight was mathematically impossible according to the smartest minds of our time. We're the species that landed on the moon with computers less powerful than a modern calculator. We're the species that survived plagues, famines, ice ages, and wars, not because the odds favored us, but because we refused to accept that the odds mattered. Your historical references are irrelevant to dimensional physics." "Are they?" Eleanor challenged. "You're calculating collapse based on current data, current understanding, current technology. But in the next 47 hours, humans will invent something. We'll try something. We'll fail, we'll try again, we'll fail differently, and somewhere in that failure, we'll stumble onto something that works. Not because it should work mathematically, but because desperation breeds innovation. I have no data supporting this outcome," the obelisk said. "Exactly," Eleanor replied. "Because you've never encountered humans before. You've only met civilizations that give up when the math says to give up. You've only met species that accept 0.000% odds as a stopping point. But for humans? That's where we start." She placed her hand against the cool crystalline surface of the obelisk. "Here's what I want you to do. Take your 0.000% and watch us. Don't recalculate. Don't run your simulations again. Just watch. See what a species does when told it has no chance." "This is illogical," the obelisk said. "Welcome to humanity," Eleanor smiled. She turned and walked toward the cavern exit, her mind already racing through 1,000 impossible ideas, each one more desperate than the last. Behind her, the obelisk's light pulsed with something that might have been curiosity, a feeling it hadn't experienced in 1,000 years. And somewhere in the colony, humans began working. Not because they could win, but because they refused to lose.